Welcome back to Life Beyond Locks, where we talk all things related to hair loss, wigs, and hair toppers. Today I'm looking at a brand new company for me. This is Eurostylewigs, and one of the really daunting things to me about purchasing hair for the first time is figuring out which company to go with. And at the end of the day, once you find a company that you really like and that works for you, you really only need one or two of them to be able to meet all of your wig needs, but figuring out which companies those are is a bit of a challenge. And so I always say yes to trying new pieces because it just gives me a sense of what that company's like. And then when I get asked for feedback about X, Y, or Z company, I have some sort of thing to stand on and talk about to help that person navigate their hair loss and navigate wig wearing. So anyways, Eurostylewigs, thank you to them for reaching out to me because that was my introduction to them. And thank you for sending me this piece. I was on vacation when it arrived, and so it arrived to my house about a week ago, but I wasn't here to actually have a look at it. So I'm very excited to take a look at it with you. Inside we've got the card, which presumably has washing and care instructions. So thank you to them for that. And then inside we've got our wig and a wig cap, as well as something that I've always wanted to try. I'm really kind of excited about this. I guess I'll do a video where I try to apply these. You've probably seen them before if you've been in the wig community for a while. They are the tattoos for eyebrows. I fill in my eyebrows all the time. Now I feel like don't judge them because I don't do a great job of it, but I overplucked. I'm a victim of the early 2000s overplucking, late 90s overplucking. And as a consequence of that, I'm filling in every day. I wonder if these would provide a good guide. We'll try it later and find out. Okay, so the wig itself is premium human hair, according to them. They said they were sending me a light brown color, 20-inch wig, 130% density, transparent lace, which they said is suitable for white or cream-colored scalp. So let's take a look. Okay, this color is actually really beautiful. I don't know if you can see this here. It's definitely a light brown, pulls very red, so it is warm. Oh, it's really nicely styled too. Okay, so I'm just gonna move a little bit so that I can show you. So we're looking at a warm, light brown, very much pulling lighter in person than it is on camera right now, and perhaps a little bit more red in person than it is on camera right now. The hair quality does look to be very good. Of course, I'm going to do a wash test, so I will let you know how it washes if you stick around, because that's always very, very important to me is what happens after we wash. Like, is it going to be manageable or not? But it looks to be like it's really good quality. It also seems to have a little bit of layering in there, so they've gone ahead and they've put in a cut, which is very nice because that means it's going to be wearable out of the box. Let's take a look at that part line because I know that's what we're all going to want to see. So it does appear to have knots that are lightly bleached. I can still see a little bit of the knots in here, but they're not too bad. And quite honestly, I would rather have just a little bit of a knot. I can always cover that up with some scar tape and powder than risk, breakage and things like that. There is a little bit of an orange cast where the bleaching happened. But what I do think when that happens, and it can be removed easily, I think, by washing with blue shampoo. But what I do think is it creates a natural looking scalp, right? Like that looks very natural, and it looks like it was well bleached in that part line. We've done a little bit of pre-plucking at the center, which is going to give a realistic looking scalp. Let's look at the underside. Large parting area, very large parting area. So you can see that. This looks like it's probably a 10 by 6 or something. We have ear tabs with combs. We have a comb on the bottom. They've also included one of these bands. So if you've never seen this before, you put the wig on and the band goes at the back of your head for added security. But I'm going to go ahead and take it off because I personally don't love these. I would rather wear my own wig grip, but this can be a really great way to get added security if you don't want to wear wig grip, or even if you do, they work quite well. It also has one of these little adjusters at the back. So I've seen these once before, and instead of having your typical hook adjusters at the back, you can just cinch this in, which I'm going to go ahead and do because we all know that I have a small cat. And well, maybe we don't know that. If you're new here, I'm a 21.25 inch circumference, 11 ear to ear, 12 front to back, with very little bio hair, though I do have a scrunchie in for added bulk today. And then we've got the tag, the Eurostylewigs tag. So I'm going to take that off because I don't want it getting in the way. All right, I'm going to cut the lace and I will be back to show you what this looks like on. All right, so I went ahead and I cut the lace, so it's not as close as it will be when I'm completely done with it, but it's close enough for me to get a sense of what the wig is going to look like when it's all said and done. So let's give it a go. Okay, so right off the bat, I'm going to say I really like this piece. I'm typically an ashy girl. I don't tend to lean towards warm colors, but it is almost fall here in Ottawa, and I feel like, I don't know, I've been getting more and more of these warm colors on me lately, and I kind of like them. So if you're looking for a good fall color, I'm going to say this would definitely be it, because it just, I don't know, it just screams fall to me. It's a beautiful, rich color. And I think my favorite thing is that it has no rooting and it has very little dimension, which I know sometimes this is something that we're after. We like rooting, we like dimension, but when we're making a purchase online, I feel like sometimes that can be a little scary, especially when we're looking at brands that are operating from overseas. You never know if the color job is going to be exactly what you imagined, but this is exactly what they described to me. They said they'd be sending a light brown, and I got a light brown, and it's really beautifully done. I think that for me, it's like, I prefer a really thick hairline, which is what nobody else prefers. Everybody loves a nicely ventilated hairline. And if that's what you're looking for, you're gonna get it with this piece. The reason that I don't love it is because I have such dark bio hair that it tends to show through and you end up seeing a little bit of the transition area there. But if I put in a piece of scar tape, that's gonna be totally taken care of. So that's easily resolved, and then you can also put in a little bit of powder. But the hairline itself looks pretty good. They did a good job of ventilating and making that part line look pretty darn realistic. Okay, the ear tabs are sitting pretty much at my ear. So if you're looking for sizing, I think I mentioned I'm 11 ear to ear. So it's hitting right at the top of my ear, which is a perfect fit for me. The ear tabs do not sit very far forward. There's enough room for me to pull out my bio hair, which is something that I personally love to do. If you have no bio hair, then you might find that this is like recedes a little bit more than you'd like, but of course you can just wear the hair forward. You can even tuck it and let it tuck forward and it'll be totally fine. But if you're someone who loves to tuck bio hair like I do, you're absolutely gonna love this because it does allow for that. If you cut that lace nice and close, and the density allows for a really nice ear tuck. So that is always good. I love an ear tuck. I think it makes your wigs look so much more natural, and it feels more natural too, because ear tucking is just something that you would naturally do with your bio hair when you're trying to get your hair out of your face. So the fact that you can do that easily with this one is absolutely lovely. I also love that they sent it to me completely styled, because I am a huge out of the box girl. I don't have a personal hairdresser. I haven't seen a hairdresser since 2019, and I don't have anyone that I would trust with wigs. So for me to be able to just wear it out of the box is really nice and really important. So the cut is here, it's beautiful. The color doesn't need any fixing, that's beautiful. And the fact that they styled it so well that I can actually wear it out of the house with just like a little finger comb, and I have these beautiful curls, is also amazing. So far it is a total win for me. I'll do a full spin for you to see. And I don't know if I mentioned, but the inches on this is 20 inches, and it doesn't look that long because the curls are in there, but it really is more probably than 20 inches. If I pull it all the way down, it's considerably longer. So yeah, that's actually really nice of them. They're pretty generous with their length. Okay, so this piece is gonna go off to the wash. We're gonna wash it. We're gonna see how it looks like when it air dries, and we're also going to style it so we can see how it looks when it styles. And if we can return it kind of to this state, which I hate doing because I actually really like it as it is, and I don't wanna have to restyle it, but for the sake of testing, of course, we're gonna do that to make sure that it washes and holds up as it should. So there you go. All right, so I'm back. This is it in its styled post-wash styled state. So if you're curious to know what did it look like after drying, I'm just going to put a little video here that I took of it in its air dried state. So it was air dried state. So it actually turned out pretty well. Not a lot of frizz, relatively like straight to loose wave. So I was pretty happy with that. A little poofy on the top. I'm still kind of feeling that way, but to be fair, it's a large lace area, and because it's a large lace area, larger than what I'm used to with my day-to-day piece, it means you have more hand-tied stuff, which is good, right? Hand-tied is good, but it does mean that you're gonna have more return hair. So if you don't know return hair, if you have like a long strand of hair, the hair goes into the cap, comes out, there's a little knot, and then the piece that sticks out at the end is a return hair. So it's gonna cause more like bulk or you know, more of that at the top. Return hairs can be good in that they look really natural because we all have broken hairs in our hair anyway. But it is going to create, because you have that larger lace area, more return hairs than you might with a different cap construction. So there is that. I do like how it took a curl. It's not holding the curl really well. When I curl test my pieces, I don't use hairspray. I don't use any curl holding product. So I might spray after washing and deep conditioning a little bit, and I washed it 2 or 3 times. I might spray a little bit of, what's the word I'm looking for? Heat spray. The one that I use also acts as a great detangler. So I use it in my bio hair, even if I'm not heat styling it. I just usually do 1 to 2 pumps of that in pretty much every piece. And then this is the outcome, but that's how I always will do my hair and curl it. So could I have worked more of a curl in with hairspray? Probably, but I don't use it on my pieces. So like the curl is kind of coming out already. I did it earlier today and it's been cooling this whole time, and that's all I did. Usually I will blow dry the front pieces. I didn't do anything. I just curled it and then left it, and this is what we ended up with. So I think it looks pretty good. I mean, like I said, the curls are falling out, but they don't look bad when they're falling out because the hair is feeling pretty silky. And one observation that my husband made is I had this piece and another piece on the bed after they had been air dried, and he was just looking over them. And I feel like he's almost becoming a connoisseur of wigs now because he sees so many of them and hears me talk about them. But he was like, oh, the hair is quite thin. It's not super coarse. I wish I could show you right now, but a squirrel just ran by with a big cob of corn in his mouth out the window. I'm getting distracted. He said that the hair was he felt like it was really thin and soft compared to the other piece. And I actually thought the other piece was nice, to be honest. I didn't think that there was anything wrong with it, but he was like, oh yeah, that one feels soft. It feels nice. So it got Calvin's stamp of approval. I'll do a full turn with it curled now. So I do think if I were to keep this one, which I may do, I will probably add some face framing pieces because they give you lots and lots of length. And though these are a little bit shorter, they're still a little bit long for me. And it kind of like, I feel like I need a little bit of lightness in the front. So I'll probably do something like that. Maybe I'll come back with an update and let you know what I've done with it. But anyways, still loving this color. I think it's perfect for fall. We're actually moving into fall now here. It's not yet September 21st, but I live in Canada and the leaves are starting to change really slowly. And I just feel like when I look in the mirror or I look in the camera and I see this kind of color, I just think this is exactly what everyone's looking like for the fall, right? This is what they're looking for, I should say. So anyways, I'll leave it there. If you have any questions about this piece or anything else related to wigs, toppers, hair loss, please drop it in the comments below. Thank you to Eurostyle for sending this one over. I do think it's quite nice. You know, I don't know how much I talked about the cap before I did the wash test part, but the cap is pretty nice. I do like the adjuster. I like that we have this option. It's still a little bit loose for me, but on the whole, I think that it's going to work for an average cap kind of girl. And for me with a wig grip, it certainly will work. The front hairline is kind of, you know, interestingly done. I like a dense hairline, but I actually love how this one looks on camera with the pre-plucking. You know, it just looks, I think, a little bit more natural, and they did a good job on that. So anyways, thank you to Eurostyle. Again, thank you for being here. I hope to see you in a future video. If there's anything that you'd like to see on this channel that you're not currently seeing, please also give me that feedback as well. I'm always happy to take it in and try to do better on here. So I'll see you in the next video.